Hello and welcome to another edition of Proxima's Property Podcast. We are delighted today to welcome Will Wehbe from Level 33. Hi, Will.
Yeah. Hey, how are you, Michelle?
Yeah, well, it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
We are here to really explore a little bit about the relationship that you at Level 33 have with both Proxima and with Regal Tech. So I'm going to start with some of my famous rapid fire questions.
Go for it.
Tea or coffee?
I'm definitely a coffee person. Long black.
Long black. Yep, perfect. Chewbacca or Yoda?
Yoda. Always go for brains.
Yep. Perfect. Wolverine or Deadpool?
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Yeah. Always ready for a
Fun.
laugh. Yeah.
Always ready for a laugh. Yep. Great movie. Chocolate or chips?
Chips. Salt
Chips.
and vinegar every time.
Yep. Lots of salt. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Apartments or homes?
I think everyone is different.
Yep.
Circumstance for everyone. And there's a product for every portfolio.
Nice answer. All right. So with that, can you share a little bit about your story?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess my story started, nearly 15 years ago now in property. Real estate agent, general resi to get things started, and developed a real passion for it. So during university, I was doing a lot of evaluation and thought it'd be a good idea to get started and understand the landscape a little bit. From that, ventured into a lot of infrastructure, so civil infrastructure, particularly in Victoria. I started working on some bigger jobs, $3 to $5 billion, big water desal plants, etc. And then when I came back from that, I always wanted to kind of get that commercial component of what we did in that infrastructure space with that general resi, that middle ground. And that led me to the off-the-plan commercial space where we are now. And so basically the last 15 years has just been navigating through different kind of areas of property. And I guess where I landed here in Level 33 and everything beforehand has just left me in this off-the-plan space, and it's that perfect niche.
So tell me a little bit about what a day looks like in your life.
Well, I'm covering a few different places or roles here at Level 33. So there's a little bit of development management, a little bit of operations, and a little bit of sales and marketing. So it's everything from acquisitions at the very beginning and helping the team and understanding what opportunities would be one that would actually go for and what it would be worth to us as a company. All the way through from working with the different departments on streamlining our operations and processes to make sure that when we do decide to go for something or kind of bring a project or one of our visions to life, that we've got all the right processes and systems to keep that consistency in place, kind of deliver the quality that people have come to expect from our brand.
And so tell me, Level 33 has a beautiful brand story. You've gone through a recent brand change. Tell us about what inspired the brand change for Level 33.
Yeah, great question. So I think we've been for the longest while, Level 33 has been kind of hiding behind its buildings. We've been really proud of what we do and our projects and our end results in our communities have been our testament of what's kind of stood after we've come and gone. And I think with the change in the landscape over the last few years, the developer and the client and the personality behind who's delivering the project has never been more important. And so we made a really conscious decision probably about 18 months ago to actually create a brand, Level 33, and come out there and actually let people know this is who we are, this is what we're about, and actually explain to consumers who are either already part of our community of bought from us or people who are considering their space, looking at potentially joining one of our communities or getting involved with one of our buildings. I wanted to let them understand who we are, what we stand for. And so we've made our brand a lot more obvious with our Level 33 logo. It's just very simple and clean. And our messaging is very to the point as well. We just want people to know that we're here. We're kind of creating a very simple kind of opportunity and a clean customer journey where people can come in, engage with us directly with a developer or with our partners who we trust and who understand us, and then come all the way through to a finished product at the end.
And it's a nice moment to sort of segue into your relationship with Proxima. Obviously, in order for your clients to access all your beautiful properties, they often need real estate agents like Proxima's agent network. So why does Level 33 work with Proxima as a sales and marketing partner?
Yeah, with Proxima, we've had a long relationship with the brand from the early days of PIA all the way through to your own evolution. I think there's a sense of community engagement that comes out of Proxima that we tend not to find really anywhere else. The agents, we feel, kind of develop really strong relationships with the clients that they bring into each one of their projects, and they have a good understanding and representation of who we are as a developer brand. And up until recently, again, our projects have been everything that we've had as our identity. So Proxima and the, I guess, the team working within Proxima and under all the training and systems you guys have been able to tell our story and explain what we're about really well. So we've had a huge respect for that.
And then obviously Proxima is one of many of your agent relationships.
Yeah.
That obviously brings a degree of complexity to your life. Want to tell us a little bit about the sort of complexities that are created by managing multiple agency relationships?
Yeah, look, it's one of those inevitables where there's always going to be roadblocks and headaches that come out of it. And it can be sometimes frustrating, but I guess it's the reality of our world when we're dealing with multiple channel partners. We deal with, keeping updated stock lists, managing real time, for example, exchanges or holds or reservations on property. So sometimes that if you've got a 1 day lag or even a few hours lag, that can be the difference between having a really positive relationship or engagement with a client or having that really uncomfortable conversation about, oh, sorry, there's a deposit taken a few hours ago, you need to move. Those are probably the core challenges we really have to navigate. And then also trying to keep a consistent, message out to all the different channel partners we're working with. Proxima, unlike some other ones as well, also have like multiple, agencies that work within it as well. You send the message to the top. It's about making sure that message is consistent to all the different, groups that work within each one of those networks.
And I love that your complexity ultimately comes down to the customer. It's about creating a great experience for your customers and getting more people into the home of their dreams. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Customer journey is everything. So our entire focus is always about what's the customer experience like, what's the end product like. We need to make sure that the vision of what they've had or what they've bought into ultimately becomes a reality. And that's our minimum benchmark of what we consider acceptable moving forward for each other project as well.
And so then your second relationship is with Regal Tech as your IT service provider in the real estate market. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with Regal Tech and why you've chosen Regal Tech.
Yeah, so Regal Tech is one of our newer relationships. Mm-hmm. I think it was birthed out of kind of the challenges we're talking about with multiple channel agencies. Darren and Manish and the team kind of we kind of stumbled into the conversation because I was complaining about one of our CRM providers that we're working with and just the challenges we're dealing with it all. And so the conversation started. It was a slow burn to begin with, and it was mainly about me venting about the challenges we're dealing with. And one day Darren kind of came up to me and said, hey, look, I've got this idea that we're doing, and I'd love for you guys to kind of get involved. Here's what we're thinking. And there was a lot of insight. And what I really appreciated about that experience was there was a lot of they took the time to understand our challenges, not just the high level, communication or live stock list, but genuinely dive deeper. Why is that important? How would you want that done? How are you currently doing it? If you could deal with it, what would be your process? What's your business case? And so on the end of those conversations over a series of months, we ended up with this product that we're dealing with now, the Regal Tech CRM. And it was just a really good opportunity to actually have almost like a bespoke solution to an off-the-plan problem. And that kind of birthed that relationship.
Amazing. And then, so what sort of benefits are you seeing now through the utilization of your own branded application?
Yeah, so I think main challenges we voiced at the very beginning were the ones that we attacked front on. Live stock lists. That really was probably the most frustrating conversation I ever have to deal with. And have that dealt with straight away with just a live, available to everyone stock list, simple as scan a QR code and you're in, that helped a lot. And secondly, it was about the consistency of messaging. So because we had just a centralized platform for everything from movements and completion dates, updated promotions, units coming back, prices moving up, etc., whatever it was, there was one centralized platform that anyone engaging with us could work onto. And then again, the opportunity for us to be able to have a little bit more insight into who's engaging with us and who's kind of not really working with our product. So we could spend more time, energy, and effort massaging or managing the relationships with the agents who are putting more into us as well.
So that brings us into next year. What are you looking for next year? What are your big predictions for 2025?
Predictions are always, it's always a bit scary to get to prediction territory, but I think what we're really seeing is, even from the announcements today, interest rates are definitely going to be a far lesser consideration. I think every conversation we've had with agents or anyone dealing with us, everyone wants to buy. There's a demand for property, but everyone's either scared or there's constraints financially. So I think with the interest rates dropping, we're going to start to see that little bit of the confidence come back. I think we are still seeing the conversation of the supply constraints happening. And I remember being in the auditorium over here, my gosh, probably about 2016, 17. We had Justin on the stage. He was giving this analogy about a dam, right? As a dam building, if people want to buy, the dam will fall and the market will come. Get in before the dam breaks. And I think, to tie it back, it's actually, I think that's more real now than even back then when he said it. Because everything we're looking at, there's more people we've ever seen wanting a property now. Migration is at an all-time high, and we're not building. So that dam is building. And when interest rates start to drop, I think we're really going to see this huge surge of buyers come to that market. And with the limited stock numbers, it doesn't take an economist to kind of figure out what we think will happen. And then lastly, I think there's going to be a lot more growth in regional and I think core areas around transport. I think there's a lot of the market now who's ready to downsize, move out and retire. And I think those people have just kind of been a little bit on the fence for the last few years and understand what's happening in the market, is a good time, a bad time. So I think in the next surge, we're going to start to see a lot more people moving out of big homes. I think we're going to start to see that pre-retirement and retirement boom into coastal or lifestyle heavy areas. And then we're going to start to see those areas around, transport hubs really accelerating as well, with young couples making good money and access to credit starting to open up again. I think those transport hub areas are going to start to really explode as well.
So another big year ahead of us.
Absolutely.
So that's my final question for you. What do you do to actually unwind and what books are you reading? What can you share a little bit with the audience?
Yeah, good. I think when it comes to books, most of what we're reading now is probably a little bit boring. It's a little bit about operations or what's happening in in the design spaces, because there's so much going on. But I think once a year, I always try to bring myself back to this one core book, which I think just kind of really centers me back into just some mindset about the customer and what we're trying to do. And it's Dale Carnegie's book about how to win friends and influence people. It's like an all-time classic, but it just kind of brings you back to absolute fundamentals of communication. It's nothing crazy. It's all the things we do every day, but brings it front of mind and conscious. And I think that's probably one of those books that at some point over the break, I'll probably pop open and start to dive back into again.
That is a perfect end. Thank you, Will. So I do hope everyone that you are looking to how you influence your world. And I hope that this discussion has helped influence a little bit about how you think about property, thinking about Level 33 as one of your future partners for your property investment and home choices. Thank you, Will, for joining us, and see you for another edition of Proxima's Property Podcast.